Welcome everyone to week 1 of Leave Your 9 to 5 Live. I'm Christine McAllister. I'm so excited to welcome you to your very first group coaching call. So I'm out here in my outdoor office because I really wanted you to be able to look at the beautiful view behind me, and I'm looking for just the right angle because the sun is out. So bear with me as I do that. Here we go. That's a little bit better, I think. But I'm so happy that you are all here, and I'm so excited to get to know each of you better and to support you over the next 8 weeks as we create your exit strategy to get out of or stay out of your 9 to 5 for good. So let me just make sure we are all in the same place. We're all in the right place. And we will dive in. I'm going to give you an overview of how today's going to go and also how our program is going to go. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Hi, hi. Welcome, ladies. I'm so happy to see you here. So we are going to dive right in. I'm going to tell you how this is all going to go. And just to let you know, as you join the call, sometimes you'll join and it will automatically join you like with your audio live. And so if I see that, I'm going to go ahead and mute you so that you don't have to worry about background noise or anything like that. The way that you can use this, if you're on your computer, you are going to use the chat feature to type in when you have a question. And I will take questions in the order that they are, that they come in. If you're on your phone, you can download the Zoom app, which also allows you to very easily use the chat feature there to type. Now, I want to make sure, can everyone hear me? And can everyone see me okay? I know the sun's kind of bright behind me, but it's just such a pretty day here in my outdoor office that I thought I would come and start here and give you like this beautiful inspirational view. So Kalila says, just jumped on, beautiful scenery. All right, thank you, Kim and Sherry, for letting me know that you can see me okay. So as we dive in to our very first call of Leave Your 9 to 5 Live, I want us to take 3 deep breaths and congratulate ourselves on being here and settle into this amazing space and amazing community that we have. So let's take 3 deep breaths. You can close your eyes if you want. I tend to when I'm doing deep breathing, unless I'm driving. But in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. In through your nose and out through your mouth. 1 more time. Awesome. So we are here for transformation. I know what it has taken and what it has meant for a lot of you to become a part of this group. And I'm so impressed and grateful that you are making a commitment to show up for your dreams in this way. And you have my commitment that I will show up for you 100% as well. So what I'd love for us to do on this very first call is to, as we ask a question, or even if you don't have a question today, to briefly introduce yourself for everybody watching live with us live today or on the replay, because what you're going to find is the community that you create here in the next 8 weeks is going to be really powerful in supporting you. And so I want everybody to get the chance to know who you are, what stage you are in your business, whether you are just like trying to decide on one idea or whether you are really, really clear on what you're doing. I want you to know that no matter where you are in your business, we've all been there, right? If you're just getting started, deciding on an idea, if you're looking for your first client, if you're looking for your next client, every single person who is ahead of you has been exactly where you are. And so we're all here to really support each other and encourage each other, and of course, get some laser focused insights on how to move forward from where you are. So as you introduce yourself, I also want to encourage you to come and ask the question that's the most pressing on your mind. This week's module, which you received a few days ago, is about your money and your mission. And so whether or not you have dived in on that, you can ask this week about your money and your mission questions, or you can ask something else that's relevant to you. I want you to make these calls totally applicable to where you are right now. And so you can ask anything that's on your mind. You will be receiving those weekly modules, and I encourage you to use them as you want to. You can use them as they're laid out and as they're designed, and walk through them week by week, because I put them in this order and designed this program this way for a reason. Or if one week comes out and you take a look at it and think that's not really where I am in my business right now, feel free to set that aside and come back to it later when it feels relevant for you. You know you're going to be able to use these whenever you want. So I encourage you to make this program your own. Show up to the calls, ask your questions as they are pressing for you right now, and in that way get the most that you can out of this program. Now, on Friday morning, we're also going to have, from 10 to 12 Eastern, a office hours thread inside the Facebook group where you can ask an additional question of me and get that answered. If you are if you have any questions about that, you'll get the hang of it after the first week that we do it. And so on our calls, what will happen is I'm going to go ahead and, as they say, open up the lines, and you can drop in the chat if you have a question, or if you just want to jump in and introduce yourself. Either way, sort of raise your hand and let me know, and I will take those calls in the order they come in the order that I see them. I ask you to ask one question, and then I will commit to making sure everybody gets one question answered. If we have time at the end, we will go back around again and you can get another question answered. So if you have any additional questions about this, questions about questions, please let me know. You can always ask in the group. You can ask here. But let's go ahead and dive in to week one, getting your questions answered so that you can move forward in your business. Who wants to go first? Either introduce themselves, ask a question, or both. Don't be shy. I'm drinking my golden milk here. It's kind of like a turmeric latte with almond milk. It's good and weird and good. All right, ladies. I know you're here to get your questions answered, so type in the chat if you want to go first. Awesome. Okay, so Heather put her question in the chat. I'm actually going to open up the line so that we can go back and forth, Heather, and talk about this. So I'm going to unmute you. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Can you talk?
Crap. I'm trying to figure it out.
Trying to get to a place where you can?
No, I was just, are you there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
I was just trying to figure out how this thing works.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you can be on video or just audio, whatever you prefer. But yeah, let's dive into this question that you posted here. First of all, I want you to give us just a brief introduction, who you are, where you are in your business, and what you're working on.
Okay. Well, I just recently started a new business. I left LuLaRoe, and then I started a business like about a month ago, where I'm going to be serving primarily direct sellers, doing like bookkeeping services. But my role is going to be more as a consultant role, so helping them get organized, helping them answer questions, just kind of more of the mentor role instead of me just taking it like as a bookkeeper and going, okay, just give me all your stuff and enter it. I'm going to be more like where I can empower them to learn how to do it on their own and help them get organized, stay organized, and just give them a place to, have that accountability in that space.
Awesome. Awesome. So your question is that you were just offered a retention bonus to stay at your current job, which you want to quit, until July 31st. You wanted to try to replace your income by March 31st. Would you suggest keeping my March 31st deadline for myself? And if I can stay at the job, just see how it goes. How do I not let this affect my decision? What approach would you take? So anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so I guess I'm just looking for the mindset around it maybe, or like what is the approach I guess I take here and that type of thing.
Sure. So first of all, congratulations on being an employee that they want to keep around, right? I know that's a double-edged sword when you want to quit your job.
Right. Yeah.
But I think the thing that comes up for me is like, of course, this is going to affect your decision. Like, because it's something that came up since you made it. You know what I mean? It's like you're on this journey and you're like, okay, cool. With the information I have in front of me right now, I'm quitting March 31st, right?
Yeah.
And then, a week later or whatever, you get additional information. So I think that you can give yourself permission to ask the question, do I want this? Is this worth it to me?
Right.
What do you think?
Well, it's about 10% of what I'm making now. So I mean, I guess like when I look at it, like in the grand scheme of things, like of what I could be making, like it just doesn't seem like a lot of money to me. I know for some people it might be, but I guess maybe I'm just like starting to like think bigger and that type of thing. And so, like for me, I kind of look at it and go, oh, well, that's nice, but it's not like super great. So it's, I mean, it's, yes, it's nice, but it's in the grand scheme of things. I don't think that that's going to like make or break my decision. Either. So I think that it's like, I guess, a deciding factor, but
yep.
And it's something that, like you said, I guess to think about, but I don't think that it necessarily like it does have some bearing, but it doesn't have as much weight. I guess if it maybe it would be more money.
Gotcha. Totally. And I think you can give yourself a lot of permission around that to just be like, hey, here's the deal, right? Like it's some money, but is it worth an extra 4 months of my life? I don't know. Right. So what kind of timeline are you working with here? Like when do you have to decide? Let them know.
No, I mean, they kind of want to know most of it is just like, you sign on the dotted line. I think like what I'm understanding from it, or what I'm, just my own thing that I see from it, is they're wanting to just make sure that I don't go out and maybe find another job. They're wanting to, I guess, retain me so that, I can help be part of the transition.
Right. And are they asking you to sign something now that says you would stay until July 31st?
Right. So pretty much with this is that I just don't get the money if I don't stay.
Okay.
So it's not like, it's kind of like more like, okay, it's a piece of paper, but then too, like, it's kind of, it does play a little bit into my like mindset and decision making type of thing.
Sure. And so when do you have to sign?
Like they want me to know like this week, like to let them know like this week if like I'm interested in being part of the retention. And
okay, so by Friday.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, when you say that like your mindset, it plays into your mindset, how?
So I guess like I just think like it kind of a little bit, it gives me like that excuse maybe to just be like, oh, well, I don't necessarily have to work as hard on my business because I technically have another, 4 months. And so, I'm like afraid that some of the excuses that I give myself might come up.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, well, I don't have to do this, or I don't have to work as hard, or, I can have this pass over here and there because, well, I have technically a guaranteed another 4 months. And
Yep. And so what happens if you don't sign and you're like, yeah, I'm not interested in retention, then what?
then I'm worried that they will see me as somebody that doesn't want to stay on with them, and they'll just let me go sooner.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And I think that's fair, right? So I think then the question to ask yourself is like, can I trust myself to still show up for this every day because I want to leave by March 31st and I can even if I sign this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I guess I'm just, it's just, I guess it's just something that plays on my mind a little bit. That is like, oh, well, that might, that can give me an out, like in the back of my mind that, oh, well, I don't have to do this, or there's not like the deadline has changed, I guess. So,
Yep. So I would say like two things. One, yes, that's true, but this is all external anyway, right? Like you've known that you wanted to leave your job. You've known about this acquisition. Everything was uncertain. Now they're saying maybe it's a little more certain, but like you get to decide what's certain for you and what you want to create, right? So I think that this is an opportunity for you to go like, I'm trusting my intuition and my mindset is such that I intend to leave on March 31st.
Okay. Yeah.
So if that feels good and you feel like signing this thing allows you to trust that you're going to be there through March 31st, as opposed to what's it going to do to my mindset if I say, no, I don't want to, and they could fire me tomorrow, and is that going to mess with me worse? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say where can you give yourself like the safety to like trust yourself and also go, okay, based on the information I have, like here's how I want to set myself up for my leaving my job.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
And I would say also to give yourself a lot of credit, like that you have put support in place. You're here asking this question. So you're not just going off and hiding and going like, I'm not doing this anymore because now I have 4 more months. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think what I would do is just recommend that you check in with yourself and say, do I still want March 31st? If yes, then that's worth 10% to me because I'll be making the money to have replaced my job. And then when I'm out of my job, I have that much more time to make that much more money. And it's just going to not be a big deal.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that feel good?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And I guess I don't know, maybe it's just the talking about it back and forth helps. I don't know. Just
of course. When it's all up in our heads. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why we're here, right? To get that perspective from somebody who's been there and to get to sort out those things that are kind of, your fears over here, like, and then you're like, but can I trust myself? And like, what's the best strategy to take? Right? So exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So any other thoughts, questions on that?
No, I mean, that makes sense. And so
okay, beautiful.
I think that like my initial like intuition as I was driving home was just to be like, okay, well, I sign it and then, I just stay on my current path and, things change, then they change. Because I mean, anything can happen in 4 months.
Exactly. And that's the thing, just like you didn't know when you picked March 31st that this was going to happen. Right? And so I think it's like anything else, like anything can happen in 4 months. And so what you have is an intention, and it's a strong one, and you're going to move forward with that intention. And as other information becomes available, you're going to make the best decision you can with the information that you have.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
But it sounds like your intuition is like telling you, keep at this, girl. Like you can trust yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations on being so desirable, even though you don't really want to be.
At least we all know I'm good at the job.
Yeah, you can remind yourself of that. And especially since you're starting a similar business, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Keep us posted if another question comes up before you make the final decision. Throw it in office hours on Friday morning.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I'm going to mute your line. That was a great question, Heather. All right. And Kim says she can totally relate. So, yay. All right. Who's next? Ladies, don't be shy. This is why we're here. If you want to hear me do a song and dance, which you don't really. Who has a question? Who has a question? If nobody has a question, who wants to introduce themselves? Pop it in the chat. Pop yes in the chat. Awesome. Hannah says, hi, I'm Hannah. I quit corporate life to set up freelancing last December to enable me to work part-time and spend the rest with my kids. So far since December, clients have been up and down. One month will be fab, the next will be quiet. The quieter months make me question if it's going to be possible long-term financially and how to make it financially more predictable month to month. I'm a digital marketing consultant. Awesome. Thank you for that introduction, Hannah. Do you have any questions that you want to ask about that? Do you want to talk about setting up predictable income?
Yeah, so it's just something that I've hit this month. So it's all been kind of ticking over, and then I've had a quiet month for different reasons, and it just immediately makes me question whether it's doable, like long term, and kind of make me immediately.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
Contain the panic. Oh, is that better? Oh,
yes.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so I suppose it's two questions. I suppose one is how to kind of contain that like panic mode that kind of makes you go, oh no, it's not going to work. And then the second question is if there's just, maybe some kind of tools that can just make it more predictable, or, how you go about maybe even finding clients that are more predictable, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, great. So on the first question of how do you deal with the panic, what are you doing for your mindset right now?
Well, I've joined you guys.
Yay! Beautiful.
Oh yes, and I'm English, Sherry. Sorry, I didn't say that. If you hadn't guessed.
English. Yeah.
So yeah, apart from that, probably not lots. I'm also a member of a local business network.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so this is such an awesome opportunity, Hannah, to start like retraining your brain a little bit. Not in like a weird way. It sounded weird, but just to kind of start to teach it what you want it to think and look for, rather than kind of that reactive fear that we all have unless we do something proactive about it. So I'd say, first of all, know that you're totally normal, and that's a very normal way to feel. And we're also about like moving beyond normal and into, badasses, right? So I would say that you have a few options based on like your personality and what you might like to do. But do you do any journaling?
No.
Okay. Is that something that you've ever thought about?
No.
Okay. So that would be one thing that you could do, and kind of write out when that panic comes in, like, what am I scared of? And kind of get it out of your head onto paper, because that gives your brain the chance to process it when you're like literally writing by hand, and kind of look at it and go, is this a crazy fear-based thought, or is it like logical? Do you know what I mean? And then
Okay.
What do I choose to believe instead? Like, there have been lots of months where I've had steady work and steady clients, and this is just a fluke, but I also know that I know how to go out and get clients. So that's what I'm going to focus on right now, right? Just like beginning to write a different story. and you can do that with journaling. Another thing that you might try that, you know, I personally really love is the tapping, the EFT or tapping. Have you seen me post like links for that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'll post one in the group. I'm going to post one called Client Magnet. It's all about, like, it's affirmations and releasing fears around not having enough clients, but you're using a form of acupressure. Like, you tap on these different, basically like where an acupuncturist would put needles, and it helps your body to release the stress. And it was developed for patients with severe PTSD and severe phobias. And like, it's clinically proven. It just looks really weird. Like, my husband thinks I'm totally crazy, but it helps me to release that nervous system that's doing the fight or flight, freak out, panic thing that you're talking about.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I was just saying that sounds good.
Yeah. So those are two options for you. One a little more traditional, you know, one a little more out there. And I would say for you to try, let's aim for trying one for 5 minutes when you notice that anxiety coming up. Or if you're feeling like that all the time, maybe just 5 minutes in the morning to kind of like set this is how I would choose to feel today instead.
Okay.
And then as far as the strategy goes, so what we want to do is start looking for clients who are more going to be more long-term. And so we might, because I know, because you and I have worked together privately, we might want to look at, again, increasing the number of hours that they have to commit to. Mm-hmm. But one way that you could do that is say, like, I have a minimum 10-hour package, but you can split it up into 5 hours a month, let's say. So, you know, that you're going to get paid for 5 hours this month, and you're going to get paid for 5 hours next month. So they're paying in installments. So in that way, you're setting up yourself for recurring revenue.
Right.
And yeah, that's one idea. Tell me how that would feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I've managed to do that with one client. Yeah, I suppose some of it is that clients you already have might not want to go for that because they already have a setup with you. So I suppose I will always have some clients that kind of tap in and out. So perhaps it's something to do going forward, is to look at a couple of months. Yeah, I guess it's pretty sensible, really.
Yeah, let me ask you, how much more time do you have right now? Like, how many more clients do you have space for on your calendar?
It really depends, because my clients are pretty different at the moment. So, you know, one client will want 4 hours a month, and another client will want maybe a day a month. So currently at the moment, my longer term client is the one that's gone quiet, which is why it sort of put me into panic mode. Because whilst I know they're coming back, I don't know exactly when. Okay. So I suppose I have technically more space for one more client currently until I can work out timings. Okay, beautiful. So you're almost booked. That's the message. Right? True. Yeah. So you have one more space for a client. And I know that, you know, because this was like your more steady client that booked more hours with you every month, it feels really scary because you're like, they went away, right? But I want you to hear yourself say, I only have space for one more client right now. Okay. So, excuse me. So I would recommend that you go to your current clients and say, look, I'm almost completely booked. My production calendar is looking like XYZ for the end of the year. And I want to make sure that I reserve the spots that you want on it for this, you know, for November and December. Because some of your clients are going to have a really busy month, because this is like the golden quarter for a lot of businesses, right? With the holidays. So they are going to be wanting to ramp up advertising. They're going to be wanting to ramp up, I don't know, people booking, you know, trips, people buying gift certificates, all of that stuff.
So I would highly recommend that you take a proactive approach with those clients that you already have, because we know it's much easier to continue to work with an existing client than to go find a new one. But I would say, like, let's have a proactive conversation with each of them, either via email or on the phone or however you best communicate, and say, guys, what do you need between now and the end of the year? Not, it's less like, okay, what do you need this month? But like, let me help you as a digital marketing consultant to think strategically about the next 60, 75 days before the end of 2017. And let's make sure that we have a plan that we're going to execute on, and that I have space on my calendar, because right now I'm almost full. I only have room for one more client. And honestly, you know, if my existing clients could take up that space very easily, and I don't want you to be left like without the time and the support that you need. How would that feel?
Yeah, it's good. I think I suppose also my other hesitation is I've also followed up. I've only followed up once this month, and I think I need to learn to follow up a few more times. And I'm learning what's acceptable and what feels, you know, like we say, sort of salesy. So I know that they're kind of in a position where they're waiting on a client as well. So.
Oh, you broke up again. Hannah, are you there?
Did you lose me?
There you are. There you are.
Sorry, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I suppose it's kind of how many times is it acceptable to reach out to your existing clients in a month? And what's
Are you saying that you only followed up with the one that you're waiting on, or you followed up with all of your clients already to get them scheduled and anticipate their needs? Oh, hello?
Oh.
Hello? There you are. There you are.
So I have followed up with 2 of my clients, and I need to follow up with the others. But I followed up with the key client, and they were kind of in a holding bay too. So
right.
I don't know whether like once a week is an acceptable follow up, or whether it should be more or less, or.
So I would say let's follow up with the other client first, the other clients that you haven't followed up with this particular approach. And you can go back and listen to this. And if you want to take notes on like what I said, it's, you know, it was about like 30 minutes into the call. So when you get the replay, if you want to jot any of that down. But I want everybody to know that you're almost fully booked, and that you want to serve them at the highest level. And so if they have any, if they want to reserve time with you, like it's time. Like, and that's being of service, right? That's not being pushy. That's being honest.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't know if one of your existing clients could refer someone to you tomorrow, and then you're like, I have no more time. Sorry, guys. And the agency comes back and they're like, well, why didn't you tell us? Right? So it's not being pushy. It's being like, this is what's going on in my business. If you want my help, like, this is what I need for you to give me some notice. I'm not just going to be here, 24/7 whenever you decide. Like, this is kind of you stepping up and going, HVB marketing is a real deal, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So let's start there. But I think totally, when you're just learning to start following up, follow up once a week. I think what I do with potential clients that I know are a great fit, or that I want to continue working with, or whatever, is I follow up with them like once a week for the first month. And then I might follow up with them every other week for a month. And then I might follow up with them monthly. But it all depends on what kind of response you're getting too, right? Like, I'm going to follow up regardless of whether someone writes me back. Because if we've connected and I know they're an ideal client, I'm going to keep following up. And I know there are women in this group who like had me follow up with them for months and then decided to work with me. And it was kind of my job to show them what was possible and remind them that this is something that they said that they wanted and needed help with, and like that I was there ready for them whenever they were ready. But we're not talking about like you being in that position yet. We're talking about like you followed up once, and now you can follow up with this sort of new script, right? And kind of just give them an update on what's going on in the business.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Does that feel good?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. So we're going to start working on journaling, and Miranda says journaling has been so helpful, and she can relate to you. And Nancy and Sherry have said that they love tapping. And I will, yes, after we get done, I will post you a client magnet tapping video in the group, and then you follow up with these people and let me know how it goes.
Great. I will do. Thank you.
Yay! Great question. You're doing awesome, Hannah. Right. I'm going to mute your line. Okay, beautiful. Such a good question. I know that a lot of people were had similar questions that came up. So, okay. So going back, let's see. Through the comments, Miranda says she can relate to your inconsistency, fear, and journaling helped her with anxiety and getting through mental blocks. Nancy says she skipped face tapping points and can still get the benefits. Totally. Kim said, I would ask a question, but I can't talk, and it's hard for me to put much in chat since I'm at work. I'm going to post in the group. Cool. So Kim, if you want to post in the group on Friday, your question during the office hours thread, I would be happy to answer that. Otherwise, and this is for all of you guys, if you want to ask a question, but you can't post in chat or you can't get on the phone live, make sure that you get it to me before the call, because I'm not going to be in the group during the call. I'm not going to be anywhere but present with you guys during the call. I'm not going to be in my email or anything like that. So send me an email ahead of time so I have time to see it before we jump in. And that way I can answer it live for you on the call. And I'm happy to do that if you can't make it. But Kim, maybe there's something small that you can put in the chat as part of, to ask your question today if you want to. Otherwise, I'd be happy to answer. Happy to answer it on Friday. Okay, so Caitlin had a question that she put in, meaning about following up. So we talked a little bit about the regularity of it, like how often. But then your question was meaning just putting them back into the value email cycle. Yes, that counts as following up. Like, 1 week you might say, hey, I have a special and it's ending, or hey, I only have one spot and I know that this is something that you were interested in when we talked. And so I just wanted to make sure that you knew about it because I don't want you to miss out if it's something that you feel is right for you in your business. But the next week or the next month, it might be like, hey, Caitlin, I was thinking about you. I know that one of the things we talked about was XYZ. And so here's an article, or here's an episode of the Savvy Cowgirl show that I made for you, or that I thought would be really helpful for you. I think it's going to help you whether or not we work together, but I think it's also going to help you decide whether working together is right. Let me know what you think, right? So always asking them to engage again, always asking them for that engagement. Hey, read my article. Hey, watch my video. Let me know what you think. But I also picked it just for you based on what you're struggling with. That's so valuable. Most people don't do that kind of follow-up. And I know some of you have heard me say this quote that I have in my indoor office that says, keep following up. Most people, like 50% of people, give up after, I think it's 2 contacts, but you have an 89% chance of landing the client if you follow up by the 9th time. So again, we're not following up to be annoying. We're following up to provide some value. We're following up to say, I just learned this new thing. Like for you, Hannah, I just learned this new thing that I would love to implement in your business, or I just came across this and it made me think of you because I know that it could help your business in this way. Or I just came across this article. I wrote this blog post. I did this video. I did this Facebook post. I think it'll be really, really helpful for you. And I'd love to know what you think. Right? So then we're always constantly adding value. We're repurposing. There's Isley down there in the yard. Caitlin says, so switch from feeling annoying to being excited about the value. Yes, totally. switch from feeling annoying. Like, I want you to think about maybe how excited you would feel if someone you were working with or were thinking about working with took the time to say, hey, Caitlin, I think that this would be really useful for you, without saying, and now you have to work with me, right? But like, I think this would be really useful for you, and know that I'd love to work with you, and this might help you decide whether that's right for you and your business. But whether or not you are ready to work with me, please use this. Like, please use it. Please get a result for free. Here's some information for you, right? Then it takes away that salesy thing, and it's more about, no, she really does want to help. She really does want to serve. She really does want to give value. Because that's how you create a real relationship that leads to long-term clients. Does that make sense? Kim says, Caitlin, you're awesome. I love being in your group. The live streaming is very helpful. Yay! See, Caitlin? So yeah, you're never being annoying. You're never being annoying. You're serving. You're providing value. And when we do sales in a non-salesy way, most people are going to go away and process and decide, so that they're coming back and making a decision that is theirs and no one else's, not yours, not you pressuring them into it, not you following some, sales process you were taught that never really felt good to you, but you felt like that was the only way to do sales because that's the only way you knew it. No, you're following up and you're giving them the freedom to decide and show up when and how they're ready, because that's when they'll really be fully engaged and actually get results from working with you, regardless of, what your service, your product, any of that is. Beautiful. Such a good question. Awesome. All right. Who else has a question or wants to introduce themselves? This fine day. One fine day. All right. Miranda says she'll go. All right, Miranda, I'm going to unmute you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Miranda. How are you?
Good. Tired, but I'm good.
Yay. All right. Introduce yourself to everyone.
Okay, I am Miranda, and I am, a mommy of 2 now. I just had a little baby about 7 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
So, I am a health and fitness coach. I've been a personal trainer. I got my degree in kinesiology, so health and fitness has always been in my background, and it's something that I truly do love. But right now I'm kind of I've been making different offers and seeing which one I like, which one I truly wholeheartedly believe in. And some of the things I've offered, I just feel like isn't what I truly believe in, like a quick 4-week fat blast type of deal. And that's not really my style. My style is more of I truly want to help people one-on-one, and I don't feel that any specific workout plan and meal plan is going to completely change your life. Fitness is so accessible, but we are in a epidemic of extreme obesity everywhere. And it just amazes me that there's so much free things that people can do, and they're just not doing it. So I am truly passionate about just helping people one-on-one and really wanting to change their lives. And right now I'm thinking of offering a one-on-one 12-week program, because I feel that's enough to at least help them start to change their life, and not just within the here's your workout, here's your meal plan. I want to do mental mindset training, because that's where it all kind of starts. If you're not thinking that you can actually get your dream body, if you want to lose 100 pounds, but you don't believe that you can lose 100 pounds, it's not going to happen. You can do 1,000,001 things, but if you're not doing the mental work to do it, it's not going to happen. So I feel I really want to serve people at a very, very high level. And because so many people are just thinking fitness is free, who cares? I'm afraid, how do I find that high ticket client that I want, that I know that I can serve? But I just don't know how to find them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, such a great question. Love what you're doing. So I think what you point out is something that's really, really key to human nature, right? We can have all the free information in the world, but we don't implement.
Right.
So, I love that your focus is on mindset and on mindset first and teaching people how to think and believe what's possible for them. And I also think the thing that you can reflect to people as you message, as you offer this 12-week program is like, basically, if you were going to do it on your own, you would have done it already.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we all have our habits, right? We are not rational beings. You know, like, I know that sugar isn't rationally great for my body. Is that going to stop me from eating a handful of chocolate chips every night? No, because I love them, right? And
Right.
that feeling overrides my rational desire when my willpower is low because I'm tired. And you know all of that. Like, you know that, like, the difference between rational and, like, what we're putting in our bodies that's led to this obesity epidemic and why we're not moving more and eating less and the whole thing. But the point is, your person is going to be somebody who's like, yeah, totally. Like, Miranda gets it and she called me out on it, right? Like, that's the thing to reflect, is really like helping people kind of own that the support is going to be the thing that they need to implement. So, and that you're going to, like I say, hold their hand and kick their butt, you know, and be there for them and like support them in a really powerful and positive way to find something that is right for them. And there's this saying that says people pay for implementation. They don't pay for information. They pay for implementation.
Right.
Right. So like, you can think about it in terms of this group program. Like, if all I did was send out the weekly workbooks every week, probably 90% of you would not do them. Right? We all have stuff that we've bought and that we've never done, or it's like downloading freebies, right?
Right.
But when I have a weekly call with somebody and when I pay for it, then I show up for it.
Yeah.
Right? Because then I'm paying for an expert to help guide me. And so I think that's where I would start with your messaging. So it's a huge industry, and there are personal trainers who are millionaires, and there are personal trainers who are scraping by, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying that what you're doing is personal training. I know it's so much more than that. But the point is, you can decide how to message around that level of support.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Look at that look at all his hair.
So
Okay.
I guess I just don't know, like, I mean, especially because it's like the off season for fitness. People aren't thinking about like necessarily getting in shape right now. So I guess, how do I even begin? Like, how do I even start? I have some people who are interested in working with me right now. Like, I just got a message last night, like, of this girl that I was talking to about it, and she wasn't ready at the time. And then she like finally messaged me and saying, I'm ready. And I was like, this is so cool. But then I immediately got nervous because I was like, you know, what I was offering before wasn't as much as what I'm offering now. And it wasn't as much money for sure. And I guess I just kind of got instantly like, I felt resistance instantly when I like was like, you know, I don't know if she can afford this. And it made me, you
Totally. So I would say have a phone conversation with her.
Okay.
And also be open to, hello, Leaf. Also be open to whatever you were pitching for her. You know, the 4-week thing could be a great lead into your 12-week. Like, it doesn't, you know, you don't, if she's like, yes, I'm ready to do the 4-week thing, I wouldn't necessarily be like, sorry, I'm not doing that anymore. Right? We don't want to turn her away when she's already wrapped her mind around working with you in that way.
Right.
Right? So then, like, you could offer her 4 weeks and then say, hey, if you want to extend this to 12, I'll credit you the 4-week toward my full 12-week package.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I would say, like, give yourself that permission. You know, we talk a lot about how a lot of times the things that we did 90 days ago are what we're seeing the results of right now.
Yes.
Right? So if you have people who are interested in what you were talking about 90 days ago, like, you're still getting paid, right? You still have clients. And then we can talk about how to move them into your higher end package.
Right. Okay.
But congratulations.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Thank
Does
you.
that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Now I seem to find like more clients.
Well, let's focus on the leads that you have right now first, right?
Yes.
Because those leads are going to create testimonials. If you don't have testimonials from past clients, I'd love to see you get those.
Okay.
Because those are ways that we can start you looking for more clients, but before we kind of either count this one out or count this one done, let's get excited about the fact that you have some clients coming to you right now, and those are going to help you with your income goal. And like, this is the way that the money is showing up for you.
Yes.
Does that feel good?
Yes, it feels great.
Awesome. Okay. So message this girl, get on the phone with her, and, you know, talk to her about what's best for her and get her going.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Not particularly. I mean, I have like back end questions, but those I can pretty much try to Google and figure those out.
Totally. Or like, those are great questions for office hours on Friday, right?
Okay,
Like, what do you use for this? What do you use for this? I'm happy to answer those. So
Thank you.
awesome question, Miranda. Okay, keep us posted. Like, post in the group, hey, I talked to her and here's what happened, or like, you know, but I think you have more warm leads than you know, and just be open to what that looks like right now. If it means the 4 weeks to ease them in, great.
Perfect.
Because then you can also start talking about 12 weeks now and start marketing that to your new people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, one more thing. For like, the 4 week thing could be the perfect thing to help them get the weight loss before they go into Thanksgiving and pig out for a month.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. So I'd say give yourself that permission there, and then give them a great experience, and know that everything you've been doing to this point is working. And you're also, everything that you're going to be learning right now is going to help you gear up to sell those higher end packages as people really start thinking about how tight their clothes are after all the food they ate.
Yes. Yes. And I'm right there too. I have 20 pounds to lose after this baby. So
yeah, I mean,
with them,
we're all on the journey. And I think you can totally share that, because you know how many women want to lose the baby weight, right?
yes.
So be open to sharing that journey, because that's going to make you super relatable.
Okay. Yes.
Yay! You're so welcome. Okay, I'm going to mute your line. And some of the ladies in the group here, Caitlin says the accountability is so important. Heather says, personally, I'm not motivated to change someone like me. I would need help even getting motivated. I don't know if you have people like that. Right. Totally. We all have our things that we're really into and that like come easily to us, and things that are not as motivating to us and that we need help getting there. And Kim says, I agree, accountability is important for me. I would need a simple meal plan, as I hate to cook, and a short exercise program. Totally. So you know, right? You're not going to be out doing 6-hour hikes. You just want to be, right, done and like easy and simple. I love that. Some good feedback for you there, Miranda. All right. Awesome. Yes. Okay, beautiful. I love that you guys are connecting in this way. Awesome. So we have time for one more person to introduce themselves and or ask a question. Who would like to introduce themselves before we go today? It's so super impressed. She's even on the phone with her baby, never mind running a business. I know, right? It is super impressive. All right. Or does anybody else who's already gone have another question they want to ask before we wrap it up for the day? I'm looking forward to you ladies not being shy and getting comfortable in this space, asking questions. So I know that will come with time. All right, Heather. Heather has one more. So cool, Heather. Let's open up your line. Yep, I don't see anybody else wanting to go. So unmute. Maybe try unmuting on your end, because there you go. Cool. Okay. All right, what's your question?
Okay, so I am doing a Zoom call actually tonight. I'm gonna work with, I have a contact with a group, a direct sales group of ladies. Yep. And so I'm opening up a Zoom call for them. And I'm gonna.
That's so exciting! Congratulations!
Yeah. So it's like my first one with a group of ladies, and So it's going to be a training. I'm going to train them on my top 10 list that I created. And then I'm going to do a Q&A at the end. And then I'll do a short pitch on my program that I'm going to be that I just kicked off. So, so obviously I'm like super nervous. So any like tips as far as like how to start it, I guess how to start it out, like anything I should kind of think about?
Yes. So I think the first thing is, this is super cheesy, but it's memorable, is when you get nervous, be of service, right? Like you will discover when you teach on this thing that you're totally an expert in that you know 1,000 times more than the average person, right? Which is what makes you an expert. And is what makes you at a job where they're trying to pay you to stay, right? So I think that's the thing to remember is like, you know so much more than you think you do. I am so confident that this live stream is going to prove that to you. And I want you to come back. I want you to come over to our group tonight and be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was like, so, you know, I knew so much. I was able to answer their questions. But I would start it out with a brief introduction and just say something like, hey, I'm Heather. I am the owner of, you know, DS Accounting, Bookkeeping, where I help direct sellers, you know, include your whole pitch, right? And just give the overview, and then, no, I'm going to change that. First, I want you to say, do you feel overwhelmed about taxes? Do you not know what to write off? Do you not, you know, I want you to talk about those things that you hear from direct sellers. I want you to lead with that so that your people watching the replay are going to be like, yes, that's me. And then you can introduce yourself very briefly and then just dive in.
Okay.
Right? And invite people to ask questions and read the comments, interact with them, ask them to say hello, but you have your notes. You know what you're going to say. So I would just say overview at the beginning, kind of help them understand that you get where they are, really brief introduction of yourself, and then value, Q&A. And anytime someone says, well, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to do this, and you feel like that's something that you offer or you work with your clients in the boot camp on, say, yeah, that's totally something we work on in the boot camp. And like, here's one thing that you could do now, but feel free to just weave that in naturally and don't feel like you have to pretend you're not pitching something until the end.
Okay.
Does that help?
All right. Yes. Thank you.
Beautiful. And I would also recommend you do a little bit of mindset work before you show up.
Okay.
You know, like do some, do the client magnet tapping that I'm going to post, or do some journaling, do some deep breathing, light a candle. There's something to kind of like show up as expert Heather rather than as like, I just did 5 million things today, Heather. Like, not that that's how you would, but we all can be like that. Right.
Right. Okay.
So just kind of actually giving yourself a chance to go, I intend to be really helpful to these women. I'm going to trust that the right ones are going to show up live and the right ones are going to watch the replay. And I'm going to share what I know and answer all the questions live or on the replay that come in. And that's enough.
Okay. Yes.
Does that feel good?
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll mute you here. Ladies, this is such a great first call. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for chatting with each other. I'm so excited to help you get to know each other inside of the group. And if you're watching this on the replay, thanks for watching. I'm sure you got a lot out of the questions that the women asked who are live here as well. And I'll look forward to answering more of your questions on Leave Your 9 to 5 live office hours on Friday from 10 to 12 Eastern. There will be a post that goes up in the group then, and you can drop your question in that thread, and I will come back and answer it. In the meantime, I'm going to be traveling this week. I leave in the morning for Texas for several days to work with a VIP, a private client, and also to see some friends and family. So I'm so looking forward to that. Yay, Texas! I know, it's awesome. So that will be super exciting. Hannah says, thanks, Christine. Have fun traveling. I will. Fee and I are traveling by ourselves, so pray for me because she does not like to sit still right now at this time in her life. And Caitlin says, thanks for your time, Christine. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I will talk to all of you soon. I'm actually, if those of you who are with me live, I'm actually going to jump over into Life with Passion Society and share the story of how I got my first client. So I'd love if you want some more inspiration, if you want to join me over there for a quick Tuesday tips, how I got my first client. Talk to you soon. Bye.